Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Roots Refuge Farm. I have a great vlog for you to watch today, but first I wanted to remind you that our merch pre-orders are currently open. They're going to be closing here in just a few days, so if you want to go ahead and get your order in, as soon as the pre-order closes, they'll begin printing and shipping. We have all our new designs as well as a couple of old ones. We brought in some 100% cotton options. That was something that previously we had a hard time sourcing. 100% cotton that were going to be a higher quality, and we do now have the comfort colors 100% cotton. They're really nice. I've been wearing them a lot lately, as well as an exclusive youth design. We've got a design that is in youth sizes, so I'll put a link down below if you want to check that out. It does close here in the next few days, and I'm not 100% sure what's going to be offered on the next run of pre-orders and which of these designs we're going to carry over and repeat. So if you've got one that you've got your eye on, now would be the time to jump on it. Thanks guys, let's watch this vlog. Katie girl, what are you doing? You been running around in this wet grass? Oh, big stretch. Is it actually possible to see a dog or cat stretch and not say, oh, big stretch? I think not. There you go, Katie and Bear, little buddies, off to run around in the wet grass together. My farm is wooing me big time this morning. I came out, there was like fog coming off the pond. It was so lovely. A lot of you commented on my last video noticing how much better my skin looks. And it's true. It has improved greatly, largely with diet, I think, and lots of rest, because I recognize that an eczema flare like that, and I've had to take a lot of medicine in the last year. I think largely it was because my gut is really out of whack, and so yeah. Hey darling. How are you? Chilly, yeah, it is a little chilly out here. I saw a meme the other day that said summer left like it was clocking out after a 12-hour shift. It really did. It was warm, still very summery a couple weeks ago, and then just overnight it was fall, and it has been really chilly in the morning, still coolish in the day. It's been beautiful, but I've definitely been pulling all the totes of sweaters out and transitioning our wardrobes out of the hot weather clothes because it's pretty cool. Haven't turned our heater on yet, but that takes a while for us to do that. What? The heater on in the house.
You haven't?
No. I've turned the little electric fireplace on to warm up the living room, but I haven't turned the central heat on yet. That's why it's so chilly in our house at night. But you like that.
I do.
Love you, Maya. Nice farming.
Yep.
No, man. No. One glorious effect of the temperature breaking, there are no flies.
There are no more flies.
No more flies. Fly season is over. Praise the Lord. Life is, oh my goodness. The flies are relentless in the summer, and to see the end of fly season for now, such a relief. Aha, score. I'm taking these.
Taking my prize Sharpies. I hid them out here so you wouldn't steal them.
I need them.
What do you need them for?
To sign books.
Like random books in the house?
No. At HOA.
Oh, sorry. I forgot you were going.
So there's kind of a standing rule in our house that whoever milks in the evening brings milk in. So we have milk in the morning because with all the boys we go through quite a bit of milk in the morning. And it is so funny, like my kids, they'll be like, are we out of milk? And what they mean is there not milk in the house? And basically whoever comes to the bottom of the jar has to go out the barn and get more. So anyway, we ran out of milk in the house this morning, and we had to have a talk about, no, we're never out of milk. There are 8 gallons of milk in the barn at any given time. All right. This is pumpkin pie waiting to happen. I got these on a roadside stand the other day. There are a few things in this world that I just cannot resist. And like a roadside produce stand, it's like there's something in me that just has to stop and see. And I had my boys with me. That's how we ended up with 3 pumpkins. I don't know that I would have necessarily bought 3, but they looked really good and they were locally grown. And my kids were like, Mom, they have pie pumpkins. It's pumpkin pie time. So I was like, okay, we'll get one. But then they each grabbed one. And so yeah, I bought 3. They'll keep. But I can pretty much make like 2 pies off of 1 pumpkin plus some. Usually there's a little bit left over. It really just depends on how thick the walls are. This will be quite a few pumpkin pies. Also, notable things on the kitchen counter. Y'all, Benjamin is learning to crochet. I've been teaching him. Which Ben is one of those kids that if you're working on something, he wants to be like right up in it. So I've been working on a blanket, and so he's right up in it and asking me a jillion questions. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna teach you how to do this. So I did the first row here, but he has actually, we've taken a lot out. Like he'll do it, mess up, we'll take it out. And so he's been working on this for a little while, but like Ben's actually been doing this. That's pretty good, huh? I've been pretty impressed. Gives him something to do with his hands, especially now that the garden's not really doing a whole lot, so kind of interesting. And actually, here's a blanket I'm working on. It's just a real basic, it's not like a fancy pattern or anything, just real basic. And this is like a wool blend yarn. I just saw it and thought it was really pretty. So got a good ways to go, but this is a basic stitch and this goes really fast with this chunky yarn, so we've been crocheting together. Hey guys, it's later in the day. I had an appointment this morning and I decided to pick the camera up just a little bit before it, but I knew I wasn't going to be able to finish the video. So I'm headed out to the garden right now to do some watering, and I figured I'd finish this up. As soon as I walk out here, the wind picks up. Maybe it was windy already, I just didn't notice it. I had briefly talked earlier about my eczema getting a lot better. I have been very minimally out, like outside and on the farm in the garden during this time of day. That's why I've had so much time to crochet, because I've been in this forced like period of rest, which has been very, very good for me in a lot of ways other than just physically. Rest is imperative to functioning all the way around. It is getting a lot better. Essentially, I went on to the carnivore diet for about a month and then started to introduce in some AIP compliant things. So I'm not fully eating carnivore anymore. It did actually help me kind of just, I think, reset. And now being on AIP is autoimmune paleo. Basically, you take out anything that could be inflammatory. So I'm not eating grains or dairy or gluten right now, and I might have to do that for a while, which I know it's kind of like, oh, you have dairy cows, you have chickens that lay eggs, you have all these different things. Nightshades, tomatoes, can't eat tomatoes right now. You're sweet, Maya. So cute. So yeah, I am not eating a lot of my favorite things, but you know, I think my gut just needs a chance to heal. I've had to take a lot of medications that I think really kind of messed me up in a bigger way than I might have realized. I mentioned to you guys that I've been working with like a functional medicine practitioner and working on like different protocols and really trying to focus on overall health and wellness. And while I would have told you I was good at resting, and I think to a certain degree I was good at resting and taking time for myself and like seeing the things that are important, but I don't think I was listening to what my body was saying that it needed, and it needed a lot more rest than I was giving it. And so yeah, it's kind of hard at first, but I was in such a place of desperation because my skin was so bad. I didn't make a video for a little while there during the very worst of it. Maya was doing the videos. Like, it was really, really bad, and it was terribly uncomfortable. And I didn't want to just jump to steroids and put a band-aid on what was clearly my body like throwing a white flag, being like, hey, something is really, really wrong. I did use a little bit of some creams and stuff on the very worst parts, but mostly I've just been doing natural stuff and the diet changes because I'm trying to go for overall health and wellness. And I feel really good. Definitely not feeling any inflammation, just in other places that I didn't even realize I was having inflammation. Like, you know how you could just use it, we just are so adaptive humans, and we end up dealing with pain long enough that we don't even realize we're in pain anymore. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the example for my kids that it's fine to just ignore your body and soldier on. And I have definitely been an example of rest for my kids this last little bit. And you know, they're cuddling up next to me learning to crochet, so there's that. So I've been noticing this last few days that this weed, I cannot remember what this is called. Somebody help me out, because I know you guys will know. I think it may be some sort of buckwheat. That's just like a wild growing plant. Anyway, my pastures will end up being full of it this time of year, and I just noticed that it was back the other day. I just think it's so pretty. I took so many pictures of this stuff last year. So I was saying all of that, talking about my health stuff, because even though the heat was really rough on the eczema, I could not stand sweating. I could not handle being outside when it was hot. And then it started cooling off. The wind started picking up a lot. And I'd come out here one day, I was trying to work in the garden because my skin was feeling better and I was not doing what I needed to do. And my neck cracked really bad. It was really rough. But now I've just been doing small spurts, and that seems to be going well. Like, I'll come out and plant for a little while, especially in the evening. Right now, it's still really bright out here, but it's late afternoon, early evening now. And so yeah, I'll come out and just do little tasks and then retreat. So one thing when you are sowing your seeds in the fall or late summer that you have to be very especially careful about is allowing the surface of your soil to get too dry, because obviously seeds are small and shallow, and when that top inch of soil dries out, that's where your seed is, especially the things we sow to grow in the winter, because they're very small seeds, like brassicas. All those things have very small seeds. One of the struggles I think that a lot of people face whenever they're trying to sow a fall garden is that they sow everything and then it's hot during the day, or it's bright, sunny, and therefore that soil dries out and then their seeds don't germinate. So I don't need a real deep watering here. You know, it doesn't have to be soaked. It's not dry an inch or two down. The soil's nice and moist down there, but the seeds are in the surface. So I'm just going to come in and give a light watering to all of this stuff. This compost stuff also, it's still got a good deal of wood in it. It's fine. It's pretty level and it grows well, but it also does dry out quickly. So all right, come over here. Oh, look. Oh, that's funny. Well, I was marveling at this rose. It looks beautiful, but also smells amazing. But then I saw this. I noticed this popping up the other day, and I was like, that looks like a potato. Look, apparently it wasn't even planted. That's a potato that probably either got dropped in here or some critter picked it up whenever we were digging them. That's funny. Oh, nice. I got my chamomile really blooming well right here, as well as some basils. And right here, some oregano. Got lots of herbs over on this side. Parsley. So yeah, I've got about 15 minutes in full sun, 15 or 20 minutes, till I start feeling like, I'm not okay. It's okay. I'll get fully recovered, and until then, I'm just going to know my limits and practice those well. So I actually wrote something, and this went out in my email list this last week, and it's the first of many. If you don't know this about me, like, I love writing. That's actually a great passion of mine, and I think that probably shines through some. I have written a couple of books. They're more instructional. It's not necessarily like fully being able to wax poetic. I think it's probably very poetic instruction, but I actually really want to use my blog for more of that kind of writing, like the inspirational stuff, like really being able to express myself. And I haven't done a whole lot of that, and I'm not 100% sure why. Restful seasons do bring about a lot of reflection, so I've been asking myself a lot of questions like, why haven't you been doing that? And I have felt more of like that tug to do more, but I was busy, and I was like, I'm too busy. I can't do those things. I'm too busy. I feel like a lot of times when you really feel that tug that you should be doing something and you start making excuses, what you will find many times in grace is that those excuses kind of go away. And what I have found is time to write and crochet. So one of those articles went up on my blog this weekend, and that's actually going to be a regular occurrence. So I saw a conversation about it came up in our Facebook group, and people were commenting on this article, and several people were like, what are you talking about? It's on my blog, rootsandrefuge.com. I'll put a link to it down below. That particular article is called Hello Fall, but you can also sign up for our email list, and I'll put a link directly to the sign up. It's on the website, but if you want a direct link, I'll put that down below as well. And have actually got more articles like that lined up, and I am just making the commitment to myself to make time to do that. I do write a lot of poetry, and I love to share kind of my romantic view of the farm life, and I do feel like sometimes we have to be careful to guard those things, because busyness and all the good things that we can have our hands full with can kind of get in the way of that poetic and artistic expression. For some people, they might not feel that, but for those of you who are poets and artists, and you have that like waxing poetic, romantic, wooed thing inside of you, you know that when you don't make room and time and space for that, ultimately what happens is you begin feeling really burnout or sick or, whatever. So yeah, if you would love to hear more of that kind of thing from me in written form, check out that email list, and there's going to be a section of that and regular contributions to it moving forward. In this last particular piece, I was talking about kind of this perspective of going into fall after having been sick, because it's changed things for me. We got cows by the fence. So, Will has actually been digging sweet potatoes today. He's got quite a lot done, and I think he's gone, but I know earlier he had this wheelbarrow just completely full, so I'm assuming he's put them somewhere. I don't know, he'll tell me. But yeah, here's some more. Those are ones we did have some damage from voles, which I expected. Look at this thing. Alright, so a handful of our sweet potatoes, like instead of having lots of roots, there were a few plants that had like this, which is crazy. I've never seen that before. I'm not sure what causes that, but we did have a whole lot of also usable potatoes, so we're going to figure out what to do with these guys that were damaged or unusable. Now, sweet potato vines are edible by humans, but they are also edible for cows. Oh, where are you going, little girl? I really want that little heifer right there to love me. She doesn't. So the whole herd was here, but I guess they got their fill. The Jerseys are definitely submissive to the beef cows, which is not surprising. They're significantly smaller. And the beef cows kind of chase them off, so they're kind of on cleanup right now. Bear, you booping snoots with that cow? Hey. Hey, girl. Hey, Freya. Hey, Freya girl. Freya is supposed to be due in like 2 months, and I feel like I'm finally able to really see that she's bred. For a little while she didn't look pregnant to me, but she's really starting to fill out, like heavier on the bottom. She doesn't have a ton of like udder development yet, but that's not unusual in a heifer, so it's her first time. And then Fern over here, she's not supposed to be due until March, so she doesn't look pregnant really yet. Freya? You gonna have a baby? You gonna be a mommy? Sweet girl. She's such a sweet, sweet girl. You gonna go inside, Bear? Well, guys, I am getting ready to head into the house. Man, I just cannot get over how beautiful it is. What's the weather like where you are? And where are you? My friend Matthew was messaging me this morning saying that they're supposed to get their first freeze in Ohio this morning. I'm like, wow, we're there already. Ours is probably about a month out, I think, but it's been pretty chilly. Like I said earlier, we haven't turned the heater on yet, but it's only a matter of time. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. God bless you. Until next time.